Let's talk about next generation Xbox and what I want this console to be. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I would like to talk about next generation Xbox, and of course I still don't know when exactly this console is going to launch. It may be 2026, maybe 2028, who knows. But there's been a number of leaks and rumors surrounding this console, which I didn't cover for, some reason. So I really wanted to talk about it right now, and I really want to focus on what I want this new console to be. 2026 is not really that far off, really. If true that this new console is going to launch in 2026, that would be interesting, and I think that would be a good idea. But after 3 years of this generation and seeing how PlayStation 5 performs and Xbox Series X performs, I've got some thoughts on potential Xbox design, what I would like this console to be and what I would not like this console to be. Now, let's talk about PlayStation for like a minute. PlayStation 5 is a very simple design in terms of game creation. They made it very user-friendly too, but developers-friendly. PlayStation 5 is more of a evolution rather than revolution when it comes to tools and everything, and that paid off. PlayStation 5 for like 2 years almost was winning in most kind of performance competitions against Xbox, right? That just paid off, right? Now you could argue that developers will still using last gen engines, not next gen, whatever, right? Like all kinds of different things. I'm not really going to get into that, but still, the fact of the matter is that on PlayStation 5, there's systems that are automatic instead of requiring developers to use them on Xbox, right? So it's just more developer friendly. So I want next Xbox to be more developer friendly, right? It's cool to get a lot of new tech inside your new console, and sure, I want that. But check with developers whether they want these new technologies, whether they will be using these new technologies, and how to make implementations of these new technologies into their game engines easier, right? I think it's crucial, right? And I thought that they've learned their lesson last generation, but clearly they didn't, right? So that's one thing. Another thing is that there's been a number of rumors suggesting that next Xbox is going to be sort of a hybrid console, whatever that means. So a little bit a cloud console, a little bit of a home console, and that just don't sound right, in my opinion, right? Because Microsoft needs to decide whether they want to build a home console or a cloud thing, right? And I think that Xbox Series X already suffers because of that, really, because of that cloud thing. Because when you look at the Xbox Series X specs and power usage and everything and number of things, I think when they were building that console, they were thinking about using these Xbox Series X blades in the cloud already. So when it comes to power usage and some specs, I think that cloud did made a mark on it, if you know what I mean. Simple example. I think, and that's just my opinion, I'm not a hardware engineer by any at all, but I think that the fact that Xbox Series X blades are being run in cloud, that's one of the reasons why Xbox Series X has very conservative clock speeds. Because if you look at the PlayStation, well, they've got much higher clock speeds. High clock speeds are quite important. Yes, Xbox has all the teraflops and everything, but if they upclock GPU of Xbox Series X by 100 megahertz, that would be a significant boost in performance, maybe 150, right? Up to 2 gigahertz, for example, right? And it wouldn't even have to be dynamic or anything like that. Any sort of uplift would be welcomed, but they didn't do it because I'm sure they were concerned about power usage in the cloud, right? And that's a very important topic when it comes to building a cloud hardware. So I think that's why I say that cloud component did leave a mark when it comes to Xbox Series X specs overall. So and now we are hearing that it's supposed to be some sort of like a hybrid console, which I don't know how that will actually work, obviously. So I don't really want to be all doom and gloom about it all of a sudden right now just yet. But you know, when you build a home console and you focus on home console, you make sure that you are making sure that it will be the best in this one particular thing. But if you are building a sort of hybrid console that is supposed to run a little bit in the cloud, a little bit in the home, at a little bit, I don't know, somewhere, and do all kinds of stuff, well, you know, so tell me, what are you building? Are you building a general purpose device like a PC or a gaming console? That's very important, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that even if they did that, it would be a bad technology or would not run games great. But it's always like that. When you chase too many things at the same time, well, you know, you're not really going to get anything right sometimes. So we'll see. But this is more like I would rather them focus on a home console and then make some adjustments to the actual cloud servers, rather than focus on cloud thing first and then, oh, let's make a home console out of it, if you know what I mean, right? So I think that what I would love to see from the future Xbox console is simplicity. Hey, no problem there. You want to pack all that new technologies and all the features and that kind of stuff, that's great. Just make sure that as many of these new tech is automatic, and make sure that developers are actually interested in using them. Because, yeah, I mean, we've seen so many of the technologies that Xbox Series X comes with that is not being used, basically, right? I mean, so what's the point? I mean, we are 3 years into this generation, and mesh shaders are being used only in 2 games. SFS, probably not a single one. There's probably some other technologies that are not being used. And, you know, I was a big proponent of all these new features. I was talking about what sort of performance uplifts we could see from using these technologies. But so what if developers are not implementing these technologies in their games, in game engines, if developers are not using these features, right? I mean, you know, I could talk about the most powerful engine in a car, but if it's not get connected properly and maybe it doesn't have a proper filters or whatever, right? It's not going to, you're not really going to maximize that car and that power, if you know what I mean, right? Or if you're just going to stick to a third gear and, well, you're not really going to reach the top speed of that car, if you know what I mean, right? When it comes to manual, gears and gearboxes and that kind of stuff. But anyway, enough of talking about cars. Yeah, I've been just wondering, where Microsoft and consoles overall will go next. I know that Xbox is going kind of digital more and more. PlayStation is going there too, and that's why they released that new console without the drive again. And I'm sure moving forward they will be selling more digital only PlayStations than the ones with a optical drive. That's the future, but digital is one thing, but having a sort of hybrid technology where you run some part of the game on local machine and part of the game in the cloud. That's not always the best option, in my opinion, right? We've heard about how cloud is going to revolutionize gaming, and that still hasn't happened really, right? So we'll see. But anyway, guys, so that's my thoughts on it, right? How that's really going to be, how Microsoft is going to approach it, we still don't know. Like I said, I want as simple and as powerful console as possible to have my games run great. The more complicated setup, the more different kind of technologies that nobody is going to really use, then that's not the way really to go when it comes to consoles, in my opinion, right? So we'll see. Anyway, guys, so that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. What sort of console you would like to see. I've got some other topics in the works right now when it comes to next gen and stuff, so we'll stay tuned for more, that's for sure. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all guys in the next one. Take care.